Are you a diehard fan of the Scream franchise? Think you know all there is to know about the iconic horror movies? Well, think again. In this exciting and blood-chilling copy, we unveil 30 mind-blowing details that you might have missed while watching the Scream movies. Get ready to have your mind blown as we delve into the depths of this slasher saga. Let's start with the iconic Ghostface mask. Did you know that it was inspired by the painting The Scream by Edvard Munch? It perfectly captures the essence of horror and fear. Remember the famous opening scene of the first film? Drew Barrymore's character, Casey, asks the killer which horror movie features both Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney. The answer is Dracula, a classic horror film. Speaking of the opening scene, did you notice how the camera pans over Casey's backyard, revealing her parents tied up and helpless? It's a clever way to heighten the tension and set the tone for the rest of the movie. Keep an eye out for W.S. Craven's recurring cameo appearances throughout the franchise. In each film, he can be seen playing a minor role, paying homage to his contribution to the horror genre. Have you ever noticed the hidden references to other horror movies? From nods to Alfred, Hitchcock's Psycho to John Carpenter's Halloween, the Scream franchise is packed with clever Easter eggs for die-hard horror fans. 6 in Scream 3, there's a scene where Sidney's house is being built in Woodsboro. The house number is 1031, which is a nod to Halloween, as it is the US holiday known as Halloween, October 31st. Watch closely during the party scene in Scream 2. There's a poster in the background featuring the movie Stab, which is a fictional movie within the Scream universe. It's a clever meta-reference to the franchise itself. Did you catch the hilarious product placement in Scream 4? Dewey, played by David Arquette, can be soy and sipping on a Dewey brand energy drink, which is a playful nod to his character's name. In Scream 2, Randy explains the rules for surviving a horror sequel. But did you know that he breaks one of his own rules when he leaves the safety of the van? It's a subtle but brilliant twist in the narrative. 10. Keep an eye out for the movie within a movie references throughout the franchise. From Stab to Stab 2 and Stab 3, these fictional movies reflect the events of the Scream movies, adding another layer to the story. So the main characters' last names often carry symbolic meaning. For example, Sidney Prescott's last name is derived from a town associated with a haunted house attraction. It's a clever way to foreshadow the horrors she will endure. Did you notice that the curtains in Sidney's room change color throughout the franchise? It's a subtle yet deliberate choice to reflect her evolving state of mind and the shifting tone of each film. 3. Keep your eyes peeled for the Red Right Hand song that appears in each movie. It serves as a chilling musical motif associated with Ghostface and adds a sinister atmosphere to the scenes. Jamie Kennedy, who played Randy, was the only actor to appear in person in all 3 Stab movies within the Scream universe. Talk about dedication. Scream 3 has a subtle reference to the previous films. In one scene, Gail Weathers, played by Courtney Cox, briefly wears a white streak in her hair, reminiscent of her iconic hairstyle from the first 2 movies. Ghostface's weapon of choice, the knife, also evolves throughout the franchise. It starts as a kitchen knife in the first film, expands to a retractable blade in Scream 2, and becomes a hunting knife in Scream 3, a subtle detail that adds to the frightening nature of the killer. Notice how the characters in the movies often have initials that correspond to horror directors. For example, Sidney Prescott's initials are SP, just like Sam Peckinpah, a renowned director of horror films. 8. Keep an eye out for the small references to horror legends like Vincent Price and Boris Karloff hidden in the background. These nods pay tribute to the masters of horror who paved the way for the Scream franchise. The Scream franchise is known for its self-awareness, with characters often discussing the rules of horror movies. This clever trope adds a meta-commentary on the genre and the audience's expectations. Did you notice that Ghostface's mask changes slightly throughout the movies. This intentional alteration is meant to keep the audience on their toes and add to the killer's mystique. 21. In Scream 2, there's a scene where Randy is watching Nosferatu. This classic silent film is one of the earliest examples of horror cinema and inspired countless filmmakers, including Wes Craven, too. Keep an ear out for the iconic phone call, ringtone in the movies. It's a chilling audio cue that instantly sends shivers down your spine and lets you know that terror is about to strike. The character of Sidney Prescott was inspired by Maureen Prescott, a character from the fictional movie Stab. This clever twist blurs the lines between reality and fiction within the Scream universe. In Scream 3, while investigating the studio, the characters walk past a soundstage for Woodsboro High School. This Easter egg pays homage to the hometown where most of the horror unfolds. The franchise is known for its red herrings and misdirects, from misleading clues to false identities. The Scream movies are a masterclass in keeping the audience guessing until the very end. Have you ever noticed the recurring themes of voyeurism and surveillance throughout the franchise? These elements serve to heighten the tension and add a modern twist to the typical slasher narrative. 27. There are hidden connections between the characters in the movies that are revealed over time. These intricate webs of relationships add depth to the story and make repeat viewings even more rewarding. Keep an eye out for the newspaper headlines throughout the franchise. These headlines provide subtle hints about the ongoing events and the killer's motives, adding another layer of intrigue. Dewey's injuries and his reliance on a cane in Scream 3 mirror the real-life injuries suffered by David Arquette during the filming of the movie. Sometimes reality and fiction intertwine in the most unexpected ways. And finally, did you know that the Scream franchise was originally titled Scary Movie? The name was eventually changed to avoid confusion with the parody series of the same name. So there you have it, 30 fascinating and easily missed details from the Scream franchise. Whether you've seen the movies countless times, or you're just discovering them, these hidden gems add a new dimension to the horror and make each viewing experience even more thrilling.